Have you ever found yourself trapped in the intricate web of a narcissistic relationship? It could be the insidious dynamics with a parent that run deep or the toxic entanglement within an intimate partnership. The mere utterance of their heart-wrenching plea, "Why can't things just go back to the way they were?" carries a heavy emotional burden, doesn't it? But let's unravel the hidden implications concealed within this seemingly innocent statement. To grasp the full magnitude of those words, we must navigate the convoluted layers of a narcissistic relationship. These entanglements are intricately crafted with complexity, seamlessly interwoven with the narcissist's unquenchable thirst for control, power, and validation. They yearn to rewind time, to return to a stagnant past, as they recoil from any notion of growth or transformation. This plea unsettles us because, at our core, we crave connection, love, and genuine understanding. However, the illusion lies in the belief that rekindling the past could salvage the relationship. It becomes clear that this entreaty is a deceptive construct, carefully designed by the narcissist to maintain their emotional grip. Tragically, it dismisses the importance of personal growth, suffocates individuality, and perpetuates a vicious cycle of manipulation. By fixating on reclaiming a power-driven era, true evolution is prevented, a disheartening reality that must be confronted. Imagine being in a narcissistic relationship. Perhaps you've recognized the dynamics, accepted the reality, and even stopped tolerating the abuse. However, you might find yourself trapped in the relationship, unable to leave for various reasons. In this video, we'll address both scenarios, whether you're still in the relationship or have managed to extricate yourself from it. When you truly comprehend the nature of narcissistic abuse and understand the mechanics of a narcissistic relationship, something intriguing occurs. Even if you stay in the relationship, or if you're caught in a trauma-bonded cycle, your behavior begins to change over time. Perhaps you become less susceptible to their manipulations. Maybe you develop a more detached or indifferent attitude, shifting from engaging with their tactics. Gradually, you might become less affected by their attempts to provoke reactions. You could even find yourself seeking alternative sources of support or engaging in therapy to navigate the complexities. However, understanding narcissistic abuse or recognizing the traits of narcissism doesn't guarantee that the abuse will cease. In fact, one of the most challenging aspects of embracing radical acceptance is realizing that not only will the abuse persist, but you'll also continue to endure the negative behavior. Now that you truly understand the dynamics, you're faced with the task of enduring the unpleasant behavior while fully comprehending its origins. Yet, something intriguing unfolds during this process. Prior to your awareness and acceptance, the narcissistic relationship largely operated on the narcissistic person's terms. Until you gain this understanding and embrace radical acceptance, these relationships thrive on the dynamic of the non-narcissistic individual continually yielding to the desires and demands of the narcissistic counterpart. Pushing yourself to the limit, genuinely believing that there's another approach, a superior path, a way that will lead you to achieve things correctly. During that phase, everything seemed to be aligning well for the narcissistic individual. The situation was finely tuned to cater to their unempathetic, entitled, and self-centered demands. At the time, you might not have even recognized their demands as such, and often they didn't need to reciprocate or put in any effort. Simply not yelling at you might have seemed like a good day. As you delve deeper into comprehending the dynamics of a narcissistic relationship, things will gradually stop falling into place as the narcissist desires. Here's something I've noticed in cases where individuals in these relationships eventually reach radical acceptance, but find themselves unable to leave. The narcissistic individual might have the audacity to suggest, "Why can't we just go back to how things used to be?" They might say, "Things were fine before," followed by "before something changed," therapy, a break, you moving away, etc. I've worked with people in various types of narcissistic relationships, parents, partners, friends, bosses, and over time, as the ground shifts beneath them, the narcissistic person might oddly yearn for the good old days. Why? Because those were the days when you acquiesced to their every whim. And honestly, who wouldn't desire that? However, this notion, the question of can't we just go back to the way things were, can be profoundly aggravating. It serves as a stark reminder that they either didn't perceive or don't acknowledge the chaotic mess that the situation truly was. This is a confirmation that the narcissistic individual truly doesn't grasp the concept. The shift in dynamics, the imbalance, the disengagement, none of it registers as a necessary correction to them. There's a complete lack of awareness regarding their past behavior being problematic, no recognition whatsoever. It's instead a twisted form of nostalgia for a time when their authority reigned and you were merely permitted to exist within it. Many individuals in narcissistic relationships cling to the hope that setting boundaries, not taking the bait, and disengaging might alter the relationship dynamics. And yes, it does alter them, but the problem lies in expecting that your shifts will lead to a change in their behavior, an outcome that was never on their agenda. When the narcissistic person expresses longing for the days of your psychologically toxic good old days, a time when you were ensnared in their manipulative chaos, with little regard for the impact on others, it can intensify the feeling of not only losing your sanity, but also evoke guilt in some cases. The guilt stems from changing the established rules, but this feeling is often rooted in the trauma bond. Don't let it overwhelm you. In reality, there's no returning to those supposed good old days in these relationships. There's only the time before you truly understood their personality and the life that comes after gaining that clarity. So, when a narcissistic person approaches you with the notion of wanting to revert to the past, questioning what therapists or friends are telling you, asking, can't we just go back to how things were? This video aims to decode their intentions. Essentially, they yearn for a world where they are the sole focal point, and if you're fortunate, they're permitting you to coexist within it. Let's put an end to that idea. There were never any good old days. Thanks again.